The prompt is, what does a good assessment look like in the eyes of a student? Is there a perfect assessment? Why or why not? The biggest question with assessment is this assessment measuring what it is intended to? Clear communication, void of jargon, and concise in expectations helps students perform assessments and make assessments more valid and reliable. For students, assessments must have a point, be clear in expectations and directions, and have reasonable items to measure their learning. Think short and to the point. When developing or choosing assessments, teachers should remember universal design, taxonomy, and weight of test measurements, clear and concise directions, and have a clear objective for the assessment. Keep in mind that students must be involved in the full assessment process. This includes the post-assessment of assessing the assessment. Doing this aids in diagnostic use of the assessment and also provides students with material review. This is also where educators can flag items on the assessment where the instruction may be lacking. The answer is there are no perfect assessments. When developing assessments, educators must gauge the assessments that are made that can be taken successfully by the widest range of students. Think about universal design and the taxonomy of learning without hindering resulting data. Keep in mind that individual students respond differently to different forms of assessments or item types. It is important to know your students and your classroom in determining assessments that are best suited for measuring that the learning has occurred and mastery is achieved. Being an aspiring mathematics teacher, I expect that the assessment form that I will utilize the most will fall under the ongoing diagnostic formative assessment. I plan on using explicit instruction, which is a high leverage practice number 16, a great deal within my teaching methods. Within the I do, we do, you do practice, educators provide scaffolded supports where ongoing corrections and check-ins to assess students' progress is made. These check-ins are typically student response driven and are to be used in decision making about ongoing instruction. Also, since mathematics builds upon pre-existing knowledge, and I very much believe that all students can learn mathematics provided that learning gaps are closed, I will be utilizing a mastery-based teaching method. With this method, unit assessments are leveraged to assure students are learning needed pillars for ongoing learning in a subject area. Unit assessments are graded from an 80 to 100% mastery level, and anything less results in an incomplete or a 0. And the students must demonstrate mastery before continuing onward with the lesson. I plan on utilizing the video software that was suggested in making this instructional method possible and accessible to students inside and outside of the classroom to aid in a self-paced with guardrails. Peer assessment and grouping is very important to a mastery-based instruction or learning environment, and also rests under high leverage practices and assists in social, emotional, and behavioral practices. One of the most important aspects of utilizing any results derived from students' assessment is to work with students and provide them with the tools to develop self-assessment skills. This is done by providing clear instruction, exposure to evaluation items and terminology, and expectation guidelines. Before taking this class, the words assessment and tests were synonymous with each other. After taking this class, I understand that assessments can be as informal as checking in with students during learning or as dynamic as an all-encompassing senior defense. Assessments have many forms and should be chosen strategically to build upon each other, and students should participate fully in the assessment process and have ownership of their learning. Assessments, when administered fairly and appropriately, should yield measurable results to leverage diagnostically in ongoing instruction. Ideal assessments are short, poignant, and yield valid and reliable results. To utilize assessment appropriately, educators must provide concise and direct communication of learning goals, expectations, directions, and means for self-reflection. Thank you.